Ski mountaineer Chris Davenport has climbed and skied all of Colorado's 14ers in a single year. He's climbed and skied peaks in Antarctica, and he's recently checked Mount Everest off his list. Chris, welcome to Outside Today. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Love being here. Thanks for having me back.
I know it was a couple years ago, but tell everyone what was going through your mind. All of Colorado's 14ers in a single year. I mean, seriously.
It was kind of an epiphany, the way this thing happened. I had had a very successful career as a skier leading up to 2005 when I conceived of this project. I was out on a mountain bike ride in September of '05 thinking about the coming season and my goals, and literally that idea of the 14ers popped into my head. And I'll never forget riding back into my garage, and I ran inside to my wife, Jessie, and I was like, I got this great idea for the winter. I know what I'm gonna do. You know, like, here it is. And she's all excited. And I say, I'm gonna climb and ski all the 14ers. And I just saw her face go, that's not a good idea. She's a ski patroller. She's like, avalanches? Are you kidding me? Yeah. I thought you were trying to be safer these days. And I'm like, I am, okay. Back to the, but I couldn't get the idea out of my head. Right. It stuck. And I started the project that winter, and 362 days later, skied all 54 of them.
And you're being modest. Amazing. I mean, you say success in these contests leading up to this. I mean, you're like world champion.
Yeah, I won a couple world championships and an X Games medal, and 24 hours of Aspen, and various, a lot of other things. Yes. And I really felt like, what else could I do? And so, but there's always more challenges in life for us. They just don't always show themselves. You have to be creative, especially in our sport as a professional skier. People aren't creating these things for you. You have to show the initiative and come up with the ideas, and this was a good one.
Yeah, it was.
And it really, in many ways, jump-started my passion for skiing, which at that point was like, I still love skiing, but I was just kind of overworking it, and I wanted to just go have fun, and this was a lot of fun.
So as a family man, I mean, you mentioned you have kids, how do you balance or how do you manage the danger versus that adventure?
Yeah, it's a really good question, and I get that one every so often. I have found that being a parent has actually made me better at what I do because the stakes are a lot higher. So decision making out there, managing risk, understanding the risks, I'm not afraid to turn around. It's my passion, it's my job, but it's certainly being a parent, and I'd like to ski with my kids their whole life, so I want to definitely keep doing that.
So you decided to do Mount Everest.
Well,
perfect transition.
Yeah,
right?
So the deal there was, it wasn't my decision. I was hired as a guide to take a client to Mount Everest, and that was really a neat experience, or a neat opportunity, I should say. I probably never would have gone there on my own, just because there's so many people there. The skiing's not very good, although it was really good when we were there. But it's just not, as a ski mountaineer, I'm looking for pioneering descents in places that people haven't skied before. But when the opportunity came up to take this gentleman who I had been working with for a number of years to Everest, I said, this could be something that would be really fun. One, because I made some money, and two, because I had a wonderful experience that's made me an even smarter decision maker. It kind of adds to that collective package of knowledge and experience, which equals your wisdom.
Now we have a clip of a pretty, in my mind, outrageous. I don't even know what to call it. I don't know. Let's just watch.
Let's see what it is.
This is the Mount Everest rail slide, which you do after you've skied the Mount Everest Lhotse face.
So you're actually skiing over a ladder, over a crevasse
that's right.
moving.
On Mount Everest.
On Mount Everest.
Yeah, that's the base of the Lhotse face, and that's the Bergstrand, the last big crevasse at the bottom, and there's like a 12-foot ladder right there, and I'd gone over it a few times, and it's very straight, and it was pretty stable, so I thought, you know what, I can totally ski over this thing, and so that was the Mount Everest rail slide.
Which was the first ever Mount Everest rail slide?
I gotta think, yeah. There's not a lot of people up there with skis.
It's hard to watch. What does it feel like to summit Everest?
Yes.
Yeah, it's, gosh, just thinking about my experience on the summit gives me goosebumps. It was one of the most powerful moments of my life, right up there with watching the birth of my children. And just an out-of-body experience, because not only are you almost exhausted, you're just tired. We were feeling generally pretty good that day, and we had perfect weather, so the climb was very smooth. It was overwhelming emotionally. You're hypoxic. You're not getting enough oxygen, so You ever notice how when you watch movies on an airplane, people tend to cry easier?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. Because you're hypoxic, you're not getting enough air, so you get a little emotional. So I'm up there talking to the camera and like, I love my friends and my wife and my family, and you just get all caught up in it. But you look out from the summit, you can see the curvature of the Earth. We saw the sunrise come up over Tibet at 4:30 in the morning. That was, just the most, you're basking in this orange glow of the light over Asia as it hits the highest mountain in the world and casts a triangular shadow out over Nepal. And you're just looking both ways, thinking that this can't be real. This is a dream. It's that powerful.
And so what are you working on now?
Yeah.
I'm as busy as ever. I've got a really great clothing line with Spider that I've developed with a partner, Stian Hagen, and it's called the White Spider Collection, and it's out in stores now the first year, and it's sold through really well. And then I'm kind of doing the same thing on the ski side with Kesley Skis, my ski brand. I've got a collection of skis there with Kesley over the last few years, have been selling very well. And so I'm actually heading to Austria in a couple weeks to work on next year's stuff. And
so you think, these companies come to you because you obviously have incredible experience in the field. Do you think that helps them design better products?
I think it does. Yeah, certainly my experience, but also being able to articulate what you like and what you don't like and what works and what doesn't. That's really important.
You are the voice for all the other skiers and snowboarders out there.
So sometimes it's kind of an honorable position to be able to represent. It's funny that you bring that up, actually. I was just in Washington, D.C., representing the winter sports industry with a couple other athletes, speaking to Congress about climate change. So that kind of goes along with, I guess, working with these ski companies, having the opportunity to have a voice. It was really cool. We were there on behalf of this company, or this organization called Protect Our Winters, which is a nonprofit that lobbies for the winter sports industry to help affect change in the government to protect our climate. So we were there specifically talking jobs and the jobs market and saying, hey, we represent the $66 billion winter sports industry, which is almost 1 million jobs. And this industry depends on cold, snowy winters. So we don't want our government to undermine the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Clean Air Act in an attempt to create jobs, because we feel that the opposite's going to happen. So we believe that good climate legislation is good for our economy, it's good for the jobs market, and to ask of our government to support the EPA and its ability to regulate carbon emissions. I mean, I don't want 30 years from now for my kids to be growing up or living in a world that we could have made cleaner and we could have made safer and we could have made snowier, but we didn't, because we didn't get anything done.
If other people want to get involved, where should they go?
Yeah, protectourwinters.org, and there's all sorts of great information on there and great links.
Well, thanks for stopping by, Chris. Doing a lot of great stuff. Keep up the good work.
Will do, thanks.
We'll check out protectourwinters.org.
Sounds great.